Hello, welcome to Movies Explained. Today we are going to take a look at an adventure thriller movie titled Anacondas, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. If you haven't watched this movie yet, watch this video at your own discretion. Spoilers ahead. At a pharmaceutical firm in New York City, a group of researchers gathered to discuss new types of medication. Jack Byron introduces a rare flower known as Perilous immortalis, otherwise known as the blood orchid, which they believe can be used to help people live longer. The flower is found only in a jungle in Borneo, and it blooms only once in every 7 years for just 6 months. The researchers realized that this could be the biggest medical discovery in history. Since the orchid is in bloom only for another 2 weeks, the team decides to travel to Borneo to collect samples. Jack, Gordon, Sam, Gail, Cole, and Ben arrive in Borneo. Despite the prevailing rainy season, they decide to continue on their journey. In search of a boat to take them upriver, they visit a local bar to meet with a man named Jin Soon. He turns out to be an American man named Bill Johnson and demands $50,000 to take them upriver during rainy season. The team has no other option, so they agree. The boat is not in the best condition, nevertheless they continue on their journey, deep into the jungle. On their way, Gail thinks she was attacked by an animal, and we find out that it is only Bill's monkey, Kong. That night, while the group is having their dinner, Kong tries to reach for some fruit on a tree, and fails to jump back into the boat. A creature chases after the monkey and Kong tries to hide. We see that it is a huge anaconda. The next morning, Bill can't find Kong. Gail tries to find reception on her satellite phone and falls out of the boat. Everyone laughs and tries to get her to swim back to the boat. Just then, a crocodile attacks her, but Bill jumps in the water to save her. Gail swims back to the boat while Bill battles the creature. He stabs the crocodile many times and saves himself. Suddenly Kong jumps into the boat, screaming in fear. As the heavy rain continues, Bill informs Jack that it is unsafe to continue on the same path. Jack does not want to lose more time, so he agrees to pay the captain extra to go on the same route. The next day, Bill's partner Wu sees that the river is flooded and they can't see the banks. The rudders of the boat get jammed and Bill tries to fix it with no luck. As the current gets too strong, they miss their turnoff and the boat gets pulled towards a waterfall. As the team holds on tight, the boat goes over the waterfall and sinks. Everyone swims over to the rocks in dismay. When they start to panic, Bill tells them of Livingston, a friend who operates a boat nearby, but to get to him they need to go through the jungle. Upon arriving at a large swamp, they decide to walk through it to avoid losing more time. Kong tries to warn them of a large anaconda that is passing by, but they ignore his cries. Sam and Cole notice something in the water, but they keep moving. Suddenly, Ben disappears and a giant anaconda emerges from the water and swallows him whole, but the rest of the team escape from the swamp. Bill assures them that anacondas are territorial, and there won't be another one for miles, and it should take weeks for it to grow hungry again. Gail demands that the expedition be called off, but Jack and Gordon are determined to get to that flower because it would make them millionaires. Later, Cole notices something on his neck and panics. We see that several huge leeches are feeding on him. Wu notices a highly venomous spider that could paralyze a person. Jack traps the spider in a container, excited to take it back to their lab. Meanwhile, a large anaconda attacks Livingston on his boat. The team find Livingston dead and his boat wrecked. They search the wreckage and pick up a few useful items. Later on they discover Livingston's body, and Bill says that it could be mating season, so they should expect more anacondas. They arrive at a native village, and find it ravaged. They find a disemboweled anaconda with a pair of human legs hanging out of the snake's abdomen. They notice that this anaconda is much bigger than the one they last saw. Later that night, they decide to build a raft using supplies found at the village. The team realizes that the snakes are unusually large in size because their lives have been extended through the blood orchids, which are a part of the food chain. Jack says that since they must be close to the orchids, they should press on, though the others contend that they should leave immediately. Gordon suggests that they leave now and come back in 7 years, but Jack wants to get to that flower. He tries to assume authority over the others, but they resist him. Gordon discovers Livingston's radio and gun in Jack's bag, and realizes they could have called for help long ago. Jack is unable to convince him to allow the expedition to continue, so he releases the venomous spider on Gordon. It bites him and Gordon screams in pain. He tries to call out for help, but his body paralyzes rapidly. Jack joins the others at the raft, but Sam is suspicious of his behavior. She discovers Gordon paralyzed and notices the spider bite. Just then an anaconda appears above the beams, and Gordon tries to warn her, but he cannot speak. Just as Sam runs out, the anaconda drops down from the beams and swallows Gordon alive. The others run to help him, but they are too late. Bill sets the building on fire in hopes of killing the anaconda. When they get back to the raft, they see that Jack has stolen the raft to go after the flower. With no more material to make another raft, they hack through the jungle to beat Jack to the orchids and retrieve their raft. On the way, they try to escape from an anaconda and fall into a cave filled with water. Cole gets lost and panics after finding a skeleton. He then runs into Wu, and as they try to return to the others, Wu gets pulled under the water. Cole tries to find him, but an anaconda attacks Wu and eats him. Bill tries to find them, but also notices Wu's lost flashlight floating with his blood surrounding it. Sam, Gale and Bill see a way out of the cave and crawl towards it. Terrified, Cole appears and joins them, but the anaconda is after him. Cole gets stuck after the others exit the cave. Just as they pull him out, the snake appears and Sam uses a machete to behead it. But another snake captures Cole soon after. The team follows and find him being constricted, but still alive. Bill throws his knife and impales the snake through the head, killing it and freeing Cole. Jack finally finds the blood orchids, but the others find him and try to get to the raft before he sees them. But Jack arrives and shoots Bill in the arm, and forces the party to accompany him to the orchids. They see that the flowers are hanging precariously above a pit in which a ball of male anacondas are mating with the queen. He forces Sam to cross the pit via a thin log to fill a backpack with orchids. As she returns with the flowers, the log cracks and Jack orders her to throw him the backpack, but Sam threatens to drop the flowers into the pit unless he drops the gun. Jack gives her no choice, so she throws the bag to him. Bill and Jack get into a fight and Jack drops the bag. As they fight, he sees the backpack and goes to retrieve it. Just then, the spider he used to paralyze Gordon escapes from its jar and bites him. As his body starts paralyzing, he drops the flowers and falls into the pit, and the anacondas devour him. While Sam tries to get across the log, it breaks and she falls, hanging by her leg halfway down the pit. The vine that is holding her also gives away and she falls into the pit. She climbs out just in time as one of the anacondas tries to get her feet. The female anaconda notices them, but Gale tricks it into biting their fuel container. Bill tries to shoot the snake, but the gun is empty. Cole shoots it with a flare, causing a chain reaction that sets the anaconda on fire and kills the other snakes, also destroying the blood orchids. The survivors, Bill, Sam, Cole, Gale, and Kong, make it back to the raft and drift away. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more awesome movie recaps. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.